Ahoy VC, welcome to the Personal Oasis. This is The Blind Island. I'm your host, Isaac, and today we're going to be entering into another contest. This one is for AGK's AGK, I apologize why I said key, for his 100 subscriber contest. The guy is coming out with some really great content and a fantastic contest idea. He wants us to show 5 albums that are pretty much 10 years separated, and albums that people aren't that familiar with here in the VC, continuing to push on some new stuff. So bigger bands are kind of supposed to be more excluded from this contest, and I love that idea. So he gives it a little bit more wiggle room, that as long as it's within kind of 10 years, that would be more acceptable. So I'm going to be showing some stuff. Some of it is not quite 10 years separated, but it's a little bit more on the obscure side, and I'm looking forward to sharing these albums with you. Thank you so much, and if you have not subscribed to his channel, I'm going to include a link in my description below so that you can go and enter into it. Now let's get on to the albums. So first, I have Ronnie Visits Paris. This is excellent guitar jazz. Ronnie was a wonderful bop guitarist, one that just doesn't get the recognition and credit that many others do, and it's wonderfully romantic and a great quartet setting, and I would just highly recommend anyone who is really a fan of Wes Montgomery or Kenny Burrell, give this guy a shout out. He is so good, and definitely an album that is worth listening to. You can find it to stream on Spotify or Apple Music as well. That was released in 1958, and this album right here was released in 1969. But this is an album by an artist named Midge on Color by the Number, released on the legendary ESP label. This is acid folk at its finest. Crazy experimental folk record. Some really interesting numbers on here. Grok, the love song, I think is probably, the Martian love song is probably one of the most interesting on here. He is just wailing away, yodeling, and he has an interesting backstory as well. I would highly recommend, if you're interested in those freak out psychedelic folk artists from the 60s, this would be right up your alley. And I don't know if it is available for streaming online, but you can find it on YouTube as well. It's a great album for fans of acid folk, and also something that's a little bit more avant-garde, but if that's not really in your stream, this probably won't be for you. However, those that do enjoy that will really enjoy this album. And next, I have from 1978, Ryo Kawasaki, 8 Mile Road. This is funk fusion that is just on fire with the guitar. Really great stuff. If you're looking for something that would be going into, a late period blaxploitation film, this would be kind of the soundtrack to that. Just really heavy bass lines and searing guitar work throughout. Really funky, groovy stuff. And Ryo Kawasaki is another one of those unheralded jazz guitarists from that 70s period. I believe that this album right here isn't too expensive in the US pressings, but some of his other material does start to fetch a hefty price. I would recommend seeking this one out and giving it a listen. And my 80s album is Julie Cruz, Floating into the Night, better known as the artist who sang the theme song for Twin Peaks. A lot of the music that was on here was featured on that on that TV show, which is one of my very favorite TV shows. I think that anyone who's a fan of Twin Peaks, David Lynch, you're going to find this dark, atmospheric, slightly nostalgic pop to be right up your alley, and really, really wonderful, ethereal stuff that can be just entered into like you're going into a strange dream. So very, very good album. And finally, I'm not really a big 90s fan as far as music is concerned, and I've featured this one in my top 100, but this is a post-rock album by a group called Windsor for the Derby, Minnie Grutzfeld, from 1997. Really wonderful ambient post-rock, mostly instrumental. Another one of those records very similar to Julie Cruz in that it's very laid back, kind of atmospheric, and one of those albums that's really great for late night listening. So a great album for anyone who's looking to get into post-rock and just find a good instrumental record to listen to. So guys, that was my entry into AGK's contest. What did you think? Let me know in the comments below. AGK, congratulations on 100 subscribers, and I hope the very best to you in your journey here in the VC. You're coming out with some great content, and I have no doubt that you will continue to grow here. And everyone, during these uncertain and tumultuous times, I hope that you stay safe and keep close to your loved ones, and also have good days on your own personal oasis. Cheers.